Hi, I'm Al Blythe. This is number 8 in the Cobus series of the first year bee yard. We're going to look in the hive today and just check things over and give them a little sugar water and see how they're doing. We might add another super onto this if they've drawn it all out. So let's take a look and see what's going on here.
Here we go, girls.
Yeah, here we go, girls. We got a lot of bees on the front entry. We're going to give them a little puff of smoke here, just to say hello. And then we'll take the top off and the feeder off. Oh, there's a small hive beetle right here. Let's see if we can you see him? He's gonna crawl into the sun. There you go. Oh.
Yep, just flew.
Okay, that's a small hive beetle, and that's one of the pests we don't like to see. So now that we've seen one, we will go ahead and put a beetle trap in here to try to capture any of them that show up. Probably they're also getting some of them up in this feeder in the crack there. I don't see any more, just that one. This top super is not drawn out very much yet. This was the third one we added a week ago, I believe. And so we'll look at a couple of the frames just to see if they're being drawn out. Not a lot of bees up here either. Yeah, they're really not doing much with this yet. Oh, that side's drawn out. They're
Nice.
pulling out, and that looks nice. It looks good. They haven't got a bunch of holes chewed in it like the rest of it.
Get out of this time.
It's about, I'd say it's 80 degrees. Had rain on and off this afternoon, but it's not raining now. We'll get the bifocals in place. This is really well drawn out, but I don't see any eggs. Oh yes, I do see eggs down in here. So the queen has been up here laying a little bit. That's what I would expect with this newly drawn comb, that she would come up here and lay in it. So same with this side. In fact, there's some really young larvae in here. If you look right down in there, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's just some little circles, little white circles that are larvae. So those are going to be maybe 4 or 5 days old. So the queen's doing okay. I believe we found her and marked her last week. So it's always nice to know that you didn't damage the queen in the process of marking her. A little bit of nice cap brood here. So she's been up in this super working as fast as it's gotten drawn out. So there's some pupa, some cap worker larvae. Here are the larvae down in there. And then there's some eggs down in this part. So you've got all the stages of brood. In most of my inspections, when I'm going through lots of hives in a hurry, I would go no farther than this, because this tells me I have a laying queen. They've got plenty of room, and they're doing well. And so that at this point, you could just close this hive up and go to the next one. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep going here and go down to the next layer and see what's going on down below. That's very light. There's nothing there except that brood. A little bit of burr comb there. Very gently take these out. This is a very heavy frame of capped honey, mostly. Some brood there, capped worker brood, and a lot of pollen. Same with this side. This was that damaged comb I was griping about in other weeks that I wasn't very happy with. But now that they're just filling it up with honey, it's kind of okay. Didn't bring my frame holder. I wish I had. Once again, nice capped worker brood in there. Not too many drones. There's some eggs down in here. So she's laying really well. Some of these bees are real light colored. They've just hatched out. And we'll look at another couple of frames and then put it back together. Remember, this hive was queenless for a little while, so now they're playing catch up a bit. There's not huge numbers of bees. There's enough, and they're increasing in numbers. They've got enough nectar and pollen coming in to do some good with. What's this right here? There's a queen cup that they have created, but it's dry. They just, they've got that in case they lose a queen, they have the ability to make another one. If you've got bees that are this easy on the frame and they just are docile and going about their business, and they seem to be, here's a nice big drone right here, usually you can assume that they're queen right and that everything is okay. Notice that I'm not using any smoke on them. They're not aggressive. They're not piling up on top of the frames. We'll use a little bit of smoke on them when we put the supers back together, just so we don't squish too many bees. I do it this way. I try to put them back in the same order they were in the same orientation. And whenever I put the last frame in, I look carefully to make sure. Look at the pollen there. Lots of color. And you know, they do have some little bit of extra honey stuck in here on the side so that they have some available. I love this beautiful palette of pollen. It's really pretty. That's nice because it means that we've got some plant diversity here too, because the different colors of pollen indicate that they're foraging from different species of plants and different flowers. Right now the black locust is blooming here, as well as clover and a number of other trees. There's some catalpa, basswood, and some other good forbs too that are starting to bloom. We'll put this back on. I'm going to go ahead and add some sugar water here to help them draw out this last super. Seems like they could use a little extra. It's not really a summer dearth, but I've got the sugar water, so we'll do that. So once again, I've got a quart of sugar water. I put about a teaspoon of Honeybee Healthy into a quart of sugar water as it helps them as a feeding aid, and it also helps it from getting moldy. And I got a little bit more here. I got another quart, another couple of pint jars of sugar water. You won't see me selling that out on the stand. And there's another one.
So Al, what are we gonna do next time?
Next time, we're going to remember to come out here and do a mite roll test and check this colony for mites. And we'll do an alcohol roll test. So we take about 200 bees and sacrifice them so that we can determine if there are mites in here of a number that we need to treat.
Wow.
And we also are going to add a small hive beetle trap, since we found a small hive beetle. So I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.